Hi, Power Life. I'm Lindsay. This is Gentle Yoga. And today is just meant to be a really nice break for sitting on your Zoom calls and at your desk. And I feel like I've been on a lifelong Zoom call. It's really how I feel my days are. And I'm super great for technology. But you know what? My body just needs to move in some different ways. Come on down to your mat and let's settle in this long marquee diamond shape. Booty will be back, soles of feet together, not too close into your body. Breathe in, breath out, fold forward. Get a nice gentle ujjayi sound going with that breath. A warming quality, something that feels as though it can drown out the noise of the day, of the week, of the month, of the year. We'll dial into our sensitivities now, noticing that the breath has a tempo that's completely original to us. And listening to that tempo now. Perhaps noticing the sensation right underneath the skin at the greatest points of sensation. That slight tug on the superficial fascia, that layer right below the skin that moves over the muscles, glides really on the deep fascia. Can you sense the slow expansion of this tissue? It's kind of like taffy that you buy at the gas station, right? Those long candy bar sized ones. If they are cold and hard and you pull them, it snaps, it breaks. But if you allow it to be room temperature or a little warmer and you give a slow, gentle tug on each end of that taffy, it creates this long, nice ribbon effect. And that's what we want to feel today, that gentle sensitivity. Allow yourself to inquire, what is your deepest reason for practicing yoga right now? That's your intention. Seal it in with a breath in. Send it out with an exhale. Breathe in, just slowly walk yourself all the way up. Crisscross applesauce through your legs. Exhale, hands to knees. Both sits bones plug down equally into the floor. Breathe in slowly to cow. You don't even have to go all the way into your fullest extension. And exhale, explore into cat. Few more rounds now on your own, feeling that glide of the skin and the superficial fascia on top of the ribs, perhaps even over the bony notches of your spine and the backs of your hips. And then taking these into barrel rolls, imagine you have a globe that you can trace here with your torso. Pelvis and knees stay as still as that they can. You just feel This slow tracing movement throughout the breastbone. Just asking that energy to awaken here. Nothing forced. Other way. Perhaps the way that doesn't feel quite as natural, at least not to me. And this tracing just begs us to slow down to a place where we can be really interoceptive or feel what's going on inside. Can you feel everything working together, gliding past each other underneath the skin? Great. Take your knees together in front of you. Give them a nice squeeze. And we'll just take them over to the left side. I'll mirror you today. Sound good? Sit up nice and tall. And this is a little something that I did with one of my mentors this week that I really liked. So thank you, Megan. Post up your right hand to your right side. It just felt so good. I had to give it to you guys too, right? You can't keep a good thing to yourself. On your inhale, expand your wing almost out of your peripheral vision. And as you exhale, just thread the needle. Let's do that a few more times. Cool down the pace. And let your movement follow your breath. On this last one, as you dive through, just rest the back of your palm onto the floor. And breathe into the dome of your thoracic spine, right behind your heart. Gentle yoga has become my favorite thing in 2020. I barely even practiced really. I was so into my power yoga before. And man, it's so nice just to notice how these softer, more subtle practices make, I think, sometimes even a bigger impact. I feel everything right here. I love it. On your next inhale, let's expand one more time. And on your exhale, just lay down over to your right side. Belly toward the mat, forearms as a pillow. And allow your belly to move with your breath. If you get quiet enough, sometimes you can even hear the inner workings of your belly, your swallow, the beat of your heart. Being sensitive is a practice. A lot of us need resensitized. We become numb because we eat too much spicy food or do too many big sort of movements in our exercise routine. There's so much magic in the small little details. So just fishing for them here, resensitizing ourselves. Slowly come back up to the palms. Take your knees in toward your chest, drop your chin down, and feel. We haven't even been doing yoga for that long, and already there's so much change happening. Let's sit up for the other side. Make sure, even though you've got this little leg variation over to the side, that you feel pretty erect through your spinal column. Left hand out toward the left side. Breathe in, expand, fingers out of peripheral vision. Exhale, thread the needle. Continue here on your own. Make sure you're completing your exhales. And the beauty of this practice is that you don't need to know how it works to get the benefit, but I do really geek out over the benefits. So just know how much you're doing for yourself that you don't even know anything about right now. Keeping that mobility, that hydration, all the things. We could list them all day long. Take the back of your hand now down and just rest in this thread the needle. Reinvigorate the breath. And notice if you're always just waiting for the next thing, if the mind just wants the next thing. That's very natural. But entertain whatever else you can feel about this moment, this shape, this variation of something that you probably haven't done before. Please exhale with me. Breathe in, take your arm up and back. And as we exhale, we'll just put our little mermaid shape to sleep. Walking out as far as you need to become softened. And trusting the shape to take care of you. It's okay to unguard through your muscles, whether it's your shoulders that you need to kind of shake out into heaviness or somewhere else. We've worked the spine here quite a bit through our cats and our cows, now our little twists. And so I'd like to expand further up into our shoulders. I invite you to gently prop yourself back up to your hands. Walk yourself to center. And then just come into your little shell here and see if you don't feel a little bit more symmetrical. Perfect. Out and around toward table, onto our shins now. Don't worry, we're not coming into any crazy camel variations. I know a lot of people become afraid when I come up to here that we're going into camel. We're really not, but I would like you to tuck your toes so that you've got some stability here. Okay? And if that feels like too much, you don't have to listen to me. Okay. Thread your hands behind your head and just go ahead and start to lean back into those hands until you feel the weight of your head open up the shoulders. Breathe in. And breathe out. Drape your head down. Let your elbows come in toward each other and maybe even pinch them in toward each other actively so that your shoulder blades come away from one another on your back. Exhale. Breathe in, open. Let that full weight of your head come back to open up your shoulders. Exhale forward and down. One more time each way. On your next breath in, take your hands to the sky. And then continue to breathe as you take some big old barrel rolls, this time with your shoulders more so than your torso. If this is a lot on your shoulders, you might take some sort of towel in between your hands so that you can have a wider grip here. Take a little bit of pressure out of those tops of your shoulders. And take your mind's eye inside the shoulder. Really feel those bones move around in that rotator cuff and pocket. I'll go the other way now. You're welcome to as well. Let's do one more thing here. Hands out to the sides, and slowly we'll just trace some imaginary globes on each side of our body. Torso does not move, but you can sense how the whole shoulder system, this girdle here, can move independently of the torso, shoulder blades. Ooh, maybe even your clavicles start to move a little bit there too. And I'm beginning to feel warm through my shoulders. So if you feel that blood flow there, that's not uncommon. You're asking for a response from your body to this region to regenerate in a healthy way. Perfect. From here, hands on to the backs of your hips. Tighten your legs so that you might press your hips forward and take your elbows back toward one another. Chin can stay in for this gentle version of camel. I promise no big versions. This is gentle yoga. And I didn't even have to go very far to feel really a great opening. This is so nice for sitting on Zoom all day long. Perhaps you even feel a little bit of opening now creeping down into your hips and these front side pockets here. Come back up. Maybe see how you feel through your shoulders. If you'd like to roll your neck around for a moment, that could be a really nice little stop before we get into the hips. Last little thing. And you're always welcome to just stop in one space if it feels good. I know I've got a kitch on this side of my neck from sleeping on it last night. And so if you need, you could just take your head to one side and persuade your shoulder to drop. Great. Finish out your neck circles. And we'll come into our table for just a couple of cat cows here. Again, sensing the gliding of the entire bodysuit of tissue and skin over the muscles and the deeper fascia, over the organs, over the bones, maybe even over those nerves, all those nerves that cross our joints. Go ahead and step your left foot back in space now. Tuck your toes a lot. Move your hands forward so that they're not underneath your shoulders, but just almost as though you're preparing for down dog with your hands. Press into your palms and push a lot of weight back into your foot. Now, if you'd like, you can stay steady or you can move your hips or your heel from side to side a little bit, or even press that gas pedal a little bit with your heel. We're just looking for some compassionate opening of the leg. Awesome. Take an exhale. Hands back underneath shoulders. Inhale, lift your left leg. On your exhale, point your toes, bend your knee out to the side. And then we'll just breathe here as we trace a little globe with our toes. I think I'll come down to my forearms. That just feels better for me. And as you trace your globe slowly, with control, perhaps your torso does not move at all or very much. Other way now. Some of my globes look a little bit like amoebas. They're not going so well on this side, but that's okay. All we're looking for is some mobility, some blood flow, a little bit of regeneration in this hip. And I don't know about you, but something to think about that's real in this moment to clear out my mental space. That's what I need yoga for. Perfect. Elongate through your left leg and then simply cross your knee over and onto the other side of your right knee for shoelace and sit back in between your legs. Cool. If this is too severe of a hip opener for you, you've got figure four, half pigeon pose, or 90-90. And then from here, I think I'll just continue to sit up, but you can also fold forward if that feels good to you. Perhaps you close down your eyes so that you can really feel every little thing that's happening. When we get quiet enough, we can feel that nervous system buzzing. Sometimes you can even feel in these longer holds some of that tissue just like let go. I don't feel it so much in my body as I do in my husband's body. Sometimes when I do help him with stretching after his long runs, I'll hold one of his legs up, and after like 5 breaths, all of a sudden he's got this crazy more range of motion. It's pretty miraculous. So it's not uncommon to see those kind of changes as well. We're here for 5 more breaths. I think I'll deepen forward now. You can too if you'd like. Chin drapes in toward voice box. Back rounds like a tortoise shell or a rainbow. You'll begin to raise through your head, crawl forward into table. Left leg comes out and back. Perhaps you open your hip, feel that front side, and we'll set it back down. Noticing how you feel. Eyes closed here for a moment. Right leg steps back, curl your toes under, hands come forward so you can press a lot of weight back there into your right sole of foot. Open all of that hard working foot. Mm, Perhaps you feel something up the calf. This side has a lot more sensation for me. You've got so much nice blood flow up and down this calf here, too. Just to open up those spaces, let them be uninhibited. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Raise your right toes up, point them, bend out to the side. Let's just trace our globe here. Shoulders stay steady. Produces a tiny shake, maybe a massive shake. This is a lot of work. Even gentle movements, man, they can be hard. Mm, Take really good care of your wrists as well. Forearms are always an option. Fists are always an option. Let's switch directions. It's okay if your globes look more like amoebas, or like when I make cookies, because I never bake, they always look lumpy and kind of out of shape. That's okay. Take your right leg long, and then please bend it, land it on the left side of your left knee for shoelace, and rock back into shoelace. Such a gorgeous ankle stretch as well. Feet are back, soles of feet are up toward the ceiling, knees stacked on top of knees. Settle in. Perhaps resensitization also means to notice those places that aren't quite as noisy, aren't begging for your attention, but are simply happy, healthy. Map those out now. For these last 5 breaths, I'll go ahead and walk forward. You're welcome to as well. Again, feeling that taffy-like stretch somewhere. Where is it? Letting the quiet just kind of come over you. Even if there are distractions in your home or wherever you are practicing today, just letting them be separate from you. Really feeling this gently, sacredly held space for your impending shavasana, because that's where we're headed next. So guard this time and this experience, because it's often a place that we cut short in our home practice. Guide yourself back out toward table. Extend your right leg and then set it down. If you have, I know you have a yoga mat. If you have a pillow, you could use a pillow. If you have blocks, you could use blocks. But today I'm actually just going to use my yoga mat to do the ultimate deed for sitting all day on Zoom, and that is opening my psoas muscles right on these front hip flexors. We'll come down over this little roll and set it underneath my hips. And so you'll see that it's nothing crazy. It's just a subtle change to open up this little area right here. Okay? So make sure that it feels good. There's nothing pinching in your low back. You feel like your feet are welcome to flop out to the sides if they wish to. Breathe in to clear the mind. Breathe out really gently, like a babbling brook, to settle into Shavasana. When we resensitize ourselves, we dive deeper into these grounding qualities of presence, gratitude for how amazing this vessel is that you carry around. It's a place where mental recalibration takes place as well as physical recalibration. So, as you take your hands, one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly, just give yourself a little pat on the back for coming here and doing this discipline here today. And know that you're welcome to take all of the tidbits that you get from your yoga practice out with you. You did the work, you get the benefits. What do you need to take off the mat to make you the happiest, most amazing feeling, peaceful, useful human? Thank you so much for coming to your mat today. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Namaste. Okay, everybody, I am so happy that you guys continue to come to your mats. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to do, see, or change, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.